and welcome back to another What's for Dinner, although it is not dinner time at the moment, but I'm going to share with you some of the dinners that we had this week. As I've said in the past, we're really trying to cut down on our meat consumption, so actually 2 out of the 4 dinners this week are meat-free, which is really good. I would love it if all 4 were, or 3, but it is really difficult for us. If you didn't know, I struggle with a lot of different foods, so I follow a low FODMAP diet, but I've gone through all the stages, so I'm in my own sort of personalised stage of it, but it means that there's loads of things that I can't eat still. So for me, onion and garlic are probably the 2 main things that I can't have, and you have no idea how difficult it is to create veggie food without those, as well as beans, pulses, lentils, all that stuff. I struggle to have them in huge amounts, as well as a whole ton of vegetables. Yeah, just the list just goes on, to be honest. So that is why I kind of struggle. But we've done it this week, and we've got 2 meat-free dishes, and they were amazing. Especially the one that's going to come last, Mark's sweet pot risotto. Sweet potato risotto. That was incredible. I really, really, really liked it. So yeah, keep tuned for that. Both the meat-free ones I'm going to put at the end. And yeah, if you also struggle with the whole onion, garlic, low FODMAP stuff and wanting to eat less meat, then drop a comment below, because I'd like to know that I'm not the only one, because it does get me down and is a bit frustrating sometimes. But yeah, I'm sure what you're wanting to watch is what we have for dinner this week, so I'll let you get on with it.
So I've been craving stew and dumplings for ages. As a kid, I was a bit like, oh, not stew again when my mum made it, but I haven't had it for ages, so I thought I'd make beef stew with gluten-free dumplings.
And it was great.
It was very good, actually. It was quite simple, so put some oil in a pan and then chopped up my veg. I've chopped up some celery, which I never usually
do you remember
do that.
chopping this?
Oh, some of these things are a nightmare. Tell me if there's a better way to, like, do a Swede, because a Swede is horrible. It's like, I'm scared that we're going to hurt ourselves when we cut it.
I had to come take over
Yeah,
because
you
you
did.
asked me to
Well, I
chop
didn't want
it.
to cut my fingers.
Yeah, it was so hard.
Yeah, so I cut my celery and my swede, and then I cut up some carrots. There's lots of different veg in here, which is really good for us when we struggle to eat certain vegetables and stuff, or I do personally. So this really gave us lots of variety. So firstly, I put in my beef stewing steak.
Yeah, strips or something
yeah,
like that.
I don't know what it was. It looked nice. I think we got it in Aldi.
Yes.
In a previous video.
Yes.
So I just browned that just so that it was brown on the outside. It's not completely cooked. Then I add some flour and then mix that in. That's just to thicken it when
you add the stock and
yeah,
stuff.
when you add the stock. Then I added my vegetables. The pan that I'm using actually can go straight in the oven, which is really handy. So I add my stock. I'm not sure if I added any more stock. I added red wine.
Nice.
There we go. And then I added, I think I added some
vinegar.
balsamic vinegar and some herbs, a bit of salt and pepper, and then just mix it all together and then put the lid on and put it in the oven. So whilst that's cooking, which takes quite a while, I make my dumplings. So for my dumplings, I use some gluten-free flour. I use plain flour, but I'm considering using self-raising flour next time.
Because you want them a bit stodgy, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I also added, I'm not sure what that was, if that was xanthan gum or baking powder.
I think it was baking powder.
Baking powder. I added a bit of salt, and then I used this vegetable suet from Tesco. This is actually gluten-free as standard, which is great. So just add a little bit of that in, mix it all together, and literally just add water to it.
Oh wow, is that all there's in it?
Yeah, there's nothing else in it. So you're just using the water to sort of combine it together, I guess. And just add it really slowly, because just like when you make sort of like glacé icing, it's very similar in that it just suddenly comes together when you add water. So I was just checking that it was like done, but it was a bit dry still. So keep mixing it. And then once it's done, you just need to roll them into balls.
So it doesn't have to be a really wet mixture?
No, it doesn't have to be wet at all. I mean, if it is a bit wet, I don't think it matters. As long as you can create like these balls, then it's fine. I'm sure other people know better ways to make dumplings, I don't know. This is just my way of doing dumplings. I did it like this when I was a kid with my mum. So,
I've never made them before.
Yeah. So then I peeled some potatoes.
Nice.
Very simple, very boring.
Because we want mash with this, don't we?
Of course we want mash with it. So just chop them up into pieces, and then I'm going to put them in the saucepan and boil them away whilst my stew is in the oven. And then once the stew gets to the point of it being pretty much done, it's reduced a lot. I reduced a little bit more than I wanted to. Then I just put in my dumplings, and then they can just cook for like the last bit set. Like,
how long roughly?
I don't know.
10 minutes?
10 minutes or so, I think. Maybe a bit more. I can't remember. So whilst that's cooking, I do my mash. And the dumplings, I left the lid on, but you could have the lid off if you want them a bit crispier. As you can see on my mash, I added mustard.
Ooh.
But that's how it looked. And the beef was so tender.
I don't get how it doesn't come out dry.
No, nor do
'Cause
I.
it's been cooking ages.
I guess it's
but
all in
so
juices.
tender.
It's in stock and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
The red wine. So then I served up some mash, some very unappetising looking peas for Mark. I'm not
No,
very-
they look good.
No, they look a bit funny.
I ate them.
And then some stew. And of course the dumplings.
That kind of like stewy gravy with it is amazing.
Yeah, and also the veg in a stew is so much better than
Yeah.
regular veg.
It's like soaked up all the flavour.
Yeah, it's very absorbent. Like the carrots, oh my.
I thought the dumplings were just like spot on.
I'm glad you
You're
thought
going to
so.
try and improve them.
I am going to try and improve them, but I thought they were pretty good. They're pretty nice.
I kind of made a gravy thing this week as well.
Yep. So,
I made your gluten-free toad in the hole.
which is very popular on the blog actually.
Yeah, I know, but we don't actually make it that often.
No, we don't.
So I thought, why not? It's getting cold now, kind of wintry.
Yeah, I
This will be perfect.
always fancy toad in the hole.
So I did what you've shown me to do many times.
It's nice to watch you doing it.
I spaced them out a bit.
Yep.
Not that it matters at this point.
I don't think it matters.
And then just put some oil in.
Yep.
And you want to get that oil really nice and hot.
Yes.
So I put that in the oven.
Yep.
And then I'm making some mash again.
Oh god, how boring
But
is
I make,
this?
because we always like mash, I'm making like a cheesy herby mash.
Oh yeah.
So it's
You
slightly
always
different.
add nice extras to the mash. Oh, and look, you're steaming some veg.
Yeah, I'm steaming some veg as well.
Keeping it healthy.
Most of that green stuff is for me
Yep.
because you can't tolerate it that well.
No, I'm getting there, but not really.
I think I gave you one bit of broccoli.
Yeah, and that scared me.
So this is for the toad or the whole? Which is which? It's for
the
the
whole?
Yorkshire pudding bit.
Yeah, I don't really know. I assume the sausages are the toad, right?
Yeah, people who don't know what a toad in the hole is must think this is really odd.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's eggs, corn flour,
Yep.
and some milk. I used my lactose-free milk.
And you just pour it all in at the same time. Usually I do stuff like that, add it a bit
Yeah,
gradually.
I'm lazy.
You're lazy, okay.
And it turned out okay.
Yeah?
I
Well,
did
it
give it a
definitely
really
did.
good mix though.
Yeah, because you want it to be nice and smooth. So usually I do the flour and the egg first and then gradually add the milk.
So now that's come out. That's not to cook the sausages. It's just to heat up the oil. So oil's nice and hot.
Yep.
Put the mixture in. Whack it back in the oven.
Yes.
And then I'm going to get back to making my herby cheesy mash. I don't make mash, by the way.
No.
I only know how to make it from watching these videos all the time.
So you add some herbs.
So I've got mixed herbs in there.
And some cheese.
And it just
I like that
totally transforms
You used
it.
the fork. You could have just kept using your masher.
I was trying to mix it.
Yeah, but you can mix with a masher.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
there's
and then I
some-
put in some random bit of my favourite Marge because it's like really buttery.
And then did you still mixed it with the...
Yeah, I felt like mixing was better with a fork. Is that not right?
Well, I just used the masher. I don't think there's any right or wrong.
I thought it would get all stuck in the masher.
No.
I was worried.
No, it doesn't.
Bit of salt, bit of chives, with the fork again.
Oh, it looks good. And to be honest, it tasted really nice.
Oh yeah, it was so good, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was nice. It's almost like a little bit green from your chives.
Yeah,
And the herbs, I guess.
yeah. It just, I think it looks nice and it tastes nice.
Yep.
There you go.
Ooh, that was good.
There you go.
Really, really, really,
And
really nice.
Those are turkey sausages,
yes.
by the way. I didn't say
Turkey
that.
sausages are lovely, actually. They just work, don't they?
Yeah, and for some reason my stomach can't really tolerate pork or beef sausages that well.
No. Well, you're a bit bad with red meat, so when
Yeah.
we only have it very occasionally, like the stew and dumplings. It's very rare that we
Yeah,
have red
it
meat.
is.
That's
I
so
knew you'd
funny.
notice that.
That is so funny. But that's
Mostly carrots for you.
it's depressing.
Oh, and there's my gravy.
Yep, there's Mark's gravy.
I have since put a little bit less.
Yeah,
Browning in
it
it.
was a bit black, his gravy at first, but we've improved it.
Yeah, we've improved it a lot.
But it was really good,
Yep.
and I definitely added a whole lot more gravy to that.
Yes. And it's not that difficult to make.
No, it's not. It doesn't take that much longer than sausage and mash, to
Because
be
the
honest.
toad in the hole's in the oven most of the time,
Yeah.
and then you're not really doing anything.
And Yorkshire pudding is just the best.
Yes.
Oh, and then something I made.
Another wintry one.
Yeah, it's soup season, isn't it, everyone? So I made like a butternut squash soup with croutons.
Our favourite croutons.
Yeah, so it's butternut squash and sweet potato. Tell a lie, really, with the name. So firstly, I peeled my sweet potato. I really don't enjoy doing sweet potatoes, but they're better than butternut squash, which is like the worst thing in the world ever to peel.
Yeah, they're really hard.
yeah, they
Again,
are-
like a sweet.
Yeah, so I peeled and chopped my sweet potato into little pieces. Yeah.
And your stomach's okay with sweet potato.
At the moment,
right?
it
Generally?
didn't used to be, but it is. Same with butternut squash. Both of them I have had issues with somewhat, but I seem to be getting away with it at the moment, which is
Yeah.
really satisfying because it just gives another option of like
I know.
foods.
Otherwise, we do just eat carrot
Yeah.
and potato all
Yeah.
the time.
For me, sweet potato was a no-go for a little while, and then we slowly reintroduced it, and it's been fine, and it's
good.
great.
But
So
you never know, do you?
no, you never know when it's going to change again. So I always take it slow. So then I chopped up my butternut squash into pieces as well. I cut it quite small because I wanted the soup to cook quickly.
Yeah.
You don't need to cut them this small if you're in a rush. You could just leave them in big chunks, really. And then I forgot because I don't cook. Oh, it doesn't matter. I was going to say something that isn't there. Actually, this is something I forgot. I forgot to turn the camera on and show you my croutons. Like, this was made from bread that I actually baked myself.
Yeah, gluten-free bread.
Yeah. And I chopped them all up, but I forgot to put the camera on until I'd already chopped them up. But I sprinkled them with oil and just put them in the oven for a bit, which is good. And here with the soup, I'm just doing the butternut squash and the sweet potato in a bit of oil, not for very long, just for a few minutes, and then adding in some stock. And that's
A lot of people ask about our low FODMAP stock.
Yes. So there are obviously a mix of stocks, readily available ones like there's a ham one, a Knorr ham
Knorr
stock,
ham one
and there's
we
a chicken
use.
one from Sainsbury's. But there's also a brand called like Mazel 7,
Yes.
which do vegetable one. Obviously, I just missed everything that was going on.
Oh,
but
you just blended
I
it.
just blended it and added some curry powder.
Yes.
The curry powder is important because it makes it like a curried butternut squash and sweet potato soup. Yeah, look up Mazel 7 if you need to. And I mean, just look at those.
They look better than what we make normally.
Yeah.
They're so golden.
Yeah, so that's with my homemade bread. So, you know, I never can eat a whole loaf to myself, so I just use it for croutons.
Yeah, and when you make fresh bread, it doesn't last for days and days.
No, but look at them. They were really,
They
really
do
good.
look really damn good.
And I remember I wasn't feeling 100% this day, and this was the perfect meal for when my stomach's a bit dodgy. Just nice warming soup.
All blended already.
All blended, easy to digest.
All right, and my last meal of the week, I made
Ooh.
sweet pot risotto, I've nicknamed it.
Yep, and this obviously shows that I can eat sweet potato a little bit more because we
Yes.
had it twice in a week.
Yes, but we did have it spaced apart from the soup, didn't we?
Yes.
Not literally the next day.
No, not the next day.
Which helps. So I'm just going to steam my sweet potato
Yep, okay.
because I just want it to be cooked and I don't want to have to wait in the risotto for it to cook for ages.
So you put in what? Chopped
So-
courgette?
So I'm frying chopped courgette and the risotto rice
Yep.
in oil,
Yep,
which I was told to do by the recipe.
okay.
And because I don't like risotto being all the same texture with no meat in it, I'm making like a crispy breadcrumb.
Okay.
But to the risotto, I just added the white wine.
Oh, was that white
A
wine?
bit of it, like
Yeah.
half of it. So for my crispy crumb, I'm just going to bake these breadcrumbs so I can sprinkle them on top at the end.
Yep,
So we've got a nice bit of crunch to it.
I do like that. Otherwise it is a bit like mush, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is quite a mushy.
It's like baby food.
Because that sweet potato I'm going to put in it kind of mushes up into the rice.
Yep,
So then I add my stock. There's a lot of stock.
yep.
I think that was like 700 mil or something.
Yeah, but
like
it will go soon enough, won't it?
that. Yeah.
A lot of people seem to make butternut squash risotto, but I think sweet potato
Yeah.
risotto is better.
So then I'm just getting the rest of the stock out because there was a bit of stock cube in the bottom.
Oh yeah, always remember that.
And I'm just letting it reduce. This is really sped up, so it is like reducing at hyper speed here. You should actually be able to see it reduce more, hopefully, in a little bit.
Oh goodness.
So I'm grating some cheese
Yes.
because I like to put cheese in my risottos, make
I
it
do
really
too.
creamy and cheesy. But you can put dairy-free cheese in it if you want. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, this was lactose free,
Yeah,
wasn't
this
it?
is lactose-free cheese. So there, it's reduced suddenly.
Yeah, it's going.
Salt and pepper in there. More salt. There's my breadcrumbs.
Oh, they look
Come out
lovely.
nice and crispy.
What did you just add there?
Some mixed herbs.
Yep.
Very simple.
And then you just shove in your.
And then I want the sweet potato to kind of dissolve into it.
So you're like letting it break down as such.
Yes. In goes
Oh,
my cheese.
You've just made this 1,000 times better. And
There's
look,
the
you
white wine, last white
can,
wine.
yeah, and you can see the colour change because
Yeah.
the sweet potato's breaking down, I guess.
So now you know what I mean about it all being the same texture.
Yep.
Like, which is nice, but normally you might have chicken or meat in it, which will kind of break up the mushiness, whereas I don't. So I thought this breadcrumb stuff would be really nice. Oh, and the camera ran out of battery, so I was just winging it on my phone.
Oh yeah, I remember you were quite annoyed actually.
I was like, I've just got to do this and I can eat it. So there you go.
It was really good.
Yeah, and it just adds a nice bit of crunch to it
Yeah.
that you wouldn't otherwise have.
I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favourite meals, and I'd like it again next week, please.
No problem.
So if you'd like to watch us do some more grocery hauls, like we always do, then click to the left. And if you'd like to watch us make even more dinners, then click to the right. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.